Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
All these things can be done. This is the accessibility page, entry forms. So do you want to expand the tabs on the entry forms? Whenever you go into the entry forms, there are certain tabs. So do you want to expand them? Usually we don't do it because there is a lot of information in those tabs and we do not want to do that. So what I meant to say was, this is one other thing that I wanted to show. Now I have the general appearance transactions analytics in different tabs. Now, if you want all these things one after the other, then you move towards the extreme. There is something like, unrolled view on. So if I click on this, then everything will everything will appear on the same page. So this view is actually helpful when I'm searching something. So let us go back to the previous view. And I'm saying I am on the appearance page, and here if I search nickname, it won't appear for me. Or if I search for something in restrict view, which is subsidiary, this won't be visible. So if you expand this view and then you can search for everything that you want, it will be available. Any search that you do, because everything is in single page now, it is not in tabbed versions. So if you are not sure where exactly to search for something on a preference page, even if you go to this enable feed, there's something called as enable features, which we will discuss tomorrow. So on the enable features, all these things, they will not be. Everything will be in a tabbed version. You can expand all or you can collapse all. You can click on collapse all. And once you do that, this is how it looks. So these are your different tabs in a row, wise. Earlier you had column wise, and this is your row wise navigation that you have here, where you can actually expand all and then collapse all as well. Or if you do not, the better way to look at it is this tabbed versions, because everything would be visible for you over here. So what was I showing? Sorry. I was expand tabs on entry forms. So if you enable this by default, you will have this view on all that's about your appearance, guys. So you have your default rich text editor font. Everything can be done. So coming to your transactions, duplicate warnings. Whenever you are creating something like your vendor, if you have a similar vendor within the system, what do you want the system to do? Do you want to warn or do you want no warnings? Or do you want to warn and block? If you select warn and block, we have seen HauntTech vendor a little while ago. So if you select warn and block, and when you're trying to create a HauntTech vendor, once again it'll block you. It says there is a vendor which already exists. But if you just want a warning saying that even if it is a duplicate vendor, I still want them in the system, then you can select warn UI only. So usually it is warn UI which is set up at all stages, because you don't want something for the rest. For the users to be restricted completely. So these are the printing options. Do you want the transaction email attachment format as PDF or do you want as HTML? All these preferences are available for you. And then coming to the analytics part. So what is the page orientation? Do you want it as a portrait? Do you want it as a landscape for the PDF? What is the font which you needed on the PDF whenever you are printing? All these things are some of the preferences that you can set up. Global search sort by name ID. So what this does is, if you select this option, and we were searching for bank a little while ago, so it will search by the name ID. I mean, you have ABC Bank that appears on top. You have BCD Bank that appears next. So it sorts by the characters when you select this option. You have your show reports in grid, customize font on financial reports. You know all these things. Print company logo whenever you're printing a report. Do you want the company logo to be printed? So display report, tile on screen. So if we have not gone through any of the fields. By the way, I'm going through every field. So you can click on this and see what this actually does. And this is your restrict view, by the way. So what your restrict view does is subsidiary. So if I select Amazon Inco as one of the subsidiaries and I want it to be restricted, so next time whenever I log in, I will see transactions only related to that particular subsidiary. So I'm restricting myself. As an administrator, I can restrict the users on a role level. Whenever I'm creating the role, I can restrict the users based on the subsidiaries which are there. And apart from the administrator, as a user, as a single user, I want to restrict myself to Amazon Inco subsidiary. And I want to restrict myself to only this department, this store and this sales channel. I can do that. So when I click on save, I will be able to see the data related only to that subsidiary. So where is it useful? What is the use case for this? So today I'm working on Amazon Inco subsidiary and I want the data related only to that so that I can minimize the entire information. So when I'm doing that, I will not see any information which is related to the other subsidiaries Amazon, a Metro, Cisco, Test subsidiary, whatever subsidiaries that I have in the system. I will not have access to that. So for today, I will just use Amazon Inco and I can restrict myself. And tomorrow when I come in, I say I want to transact on Amazon A. So I can do that. I can restrict myself to that and then click on save so that I will see the entire data related only to that particular subsidiary, to that department, to that location. I'm actually filtering the data. So in a way, restricting is nothing but filtering out the data. I do not want the data related to the other stuff. And that's the reason I can do this. I can restrict the view. Any question on that? Great. So I think we are almost at the top of the hour. So we are done with the set preferences, by the way. So what have we covered so far? Just to have a recap, how do you log into NetSuite? How do you set up your passwords? How do you set up your security questions? What is a global search? What are the help topics? User guides on help, videos on help suite answers on help field help. We have seen what the navigation of different transaction type data, master data. We have seen how to set up the preferences, user level preferences, company level preferences. We'll get into this. We'll see everything in detail when we are actually going through the data setup. So for here we've seen how you have your recent records. How do you set up your shortcuts? How do you set up your reminders on dashboard? How the portlets are moved in between? How do you set up new portlets? How do you customize your portlets by clicking on the personalize option? How to set up the reminders and everything. So under the reminders, there's one more option, guys. So when you click on setup, so as of now, how many do I have? Codes to print cases bills. I have 6, but I'm able to see only 4. Because the other 2 transactions do not have any pending stuff. That is the reason it is not showing. So, in order for you to show the 0 results also, you can click on show reminders with 0 results and save. So you have 0 cases to respond, 0 bills to approve, 5 bills to pay, 1 bill, 1 code to report, code to print. So I think we can wind up for the day. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.